My name is Eleanor Wright. I'm 34 years old. And the end of my relationship didn't come with shouting or slammed doors or even tears at first. It came with one calm sentence, spoken across our living room, while dinner cooled on the stove. And what terrified me most wasn't what he said. It was how prepared he looked when he said it. Like he'd already rehearsed my reaction. We had been together for 3 years, living together for a year and a half. From the outside, we were solid, safe, predictable, the kind of couple people stop checking in on. I worked from home as a software consultant, long hours, flexible schedule. He worked a corporate job, always rushing out in the morning, always tired when he came back. Our evenings followed a script. I cooked. We ate together. We watched something forgettable. We slept. I thought that was love maturing. I didn't realize it was love quietly being replaced by convenience. About 2 months before everything broke, something shifted. He started coming home later. His phone stayed glued to his hand. Conversations shrank, from stories to summaries to silence. When I asked how his day went, he gave headlines instead of details. When I suggested weekend plans, he was busy, tired, or maybe later. I noticed. I just didn't fight it. I told myself relationships go through seasons. Stress, burnout, distance. Last Tuesday, he came home around 8 p.m. I was in the kitchen making pasta, his favorite. Sauce thick, noodles firm, muscle memory built from years of loving him carefully. He dropped his bag by the door and didn't walk into the kitchen. That was the first real warning. "Can we talk?" he asked from the living room. I turned off the stove. "Sure," I said. "What's up?" We sat across from each other. He looked calm, centered, ready. "I've been thinking a lot," he said. "About us. About how I feel." I waited. "I don't feel romantic feelings anymore." The words didn't explode. They landed. Flat. Quiet. Final. My chest tightened. My fingers went cold. And, strangely, my mind went calm. "Okay," I said. He blinked. "Okay? That's it? You're not going to say anything?" "What would you like me to say?" I asked softly. "That you're wrong about your own feelings?" He frowned. "I just thought you'd be more upset." "I am," I said. "But arguing won't make you love me again." That wasn't a reaction he prepared for. I could see it unsettle him. "I don't want to break up," he said quickly. "I still care about you. I just don't feel in love. And we have this apartment. A life. I don't want to throw that away." I stared at him. "So," I said slowly, "you want to stay together without romantic feelings?" "I want to see if they come back," he said. What he was really asking was simple. "Can you keep loving me while I decide if you're still worth loving?" I thought about waiting, about trying harder, about proving myself again. "Sure," I said. "We can see what happens." Relief washed over his face. "Thank you," he said. "I appreciate you being understanding." I went back to the kitchen, finished cooking, served 2 plates. We ate in silence. That night, staring at the ceiling, something became painfully clear. He didn't want love. He wanted comfort without obligation. And I had just said okay. Not because nothing would change, but because everything was about to. The first thing I stopped doing was cooking. Not dramatically. No announcement. No passive-aggressive sighs. I just didn't. Wednesday night, he came home at his usual time. I was at my desk, headphones on, deep in work. I heard the door open. Keys dropped into the bowl. Then footsteps, slow, uncertain, like he was searching for something that wasn't there. He appeared in my office doorway. "Did you not cook tonight?" I slid my headphones off. "No." He frowned. "Oh. Are we ordering something?" "I'm not hungry," I said. "You can order whatever you want." He stood there longer than necessary, processing. "You always make dinner," he said. "I did," I replied. Past tense. His jaw tightened. "Is this because of what I said yesterday?" "Partly." "That's really petty, Eleanor." I leaned back in my chair. Calm. Steady. "Is it? You're mad, so you're punishing me." "I'm not punishing you," I said. "I'm adjusting." To what? To the relationship you described, I replied. You don't have romantic feelings for me. Cooking every night was something I did for a romantic partner. His arms crossed. Defensive. We're still together. You don't love me, I said. You just don't want to move out. That's not fair. He opened his mouth, then closed it. He ordered takeout and ate alone in the bedroom. Later, I heard him on the phone. Voice low, sharp. I didn't need the words. I recognized the tone. Complaint, frustration, validation seeking. Thursday morning, I made coffee. 1 cup.
Mine.
He came into the kitchen, hair damp, eyes half closed. Is there more coffee? He asked, peering into the pot. There is, I said. You didn't make me a cup. You can make one. He stared at me like I'd just spoken a foreign language. Seriously? What? You always make my coffee. I always did, I corrected. Because I wanted you to start your day feeling taken care of. Now it's just coffee. He slammed the cabinet harder than necessary. This is childish. It's consistent, I said. You're punishing me for being honest. No, I replied evenly. I'm matching my behavior to the truth. He made his coffee in silence. Left without saying goodbye. I sat back down at my desk, heart pounding, not from guilt, but from clarity. For the first time, I wasn't performing love. By the weekend, the absence had grown teeth. Saturday morning, he asked, So, what are we doing today? I have errands. Lunch with a friend. What about us? What about us? We always do weekends together. We did, I said, when we were romantically involved. His face fell. We still are. Then what's different? He didn't answer. I left at 10. Ran errands. Laughed over lunch. When my friend asked how things were, I told her everything. She was quiet for a long moment. So he wants all the benefits, she said slowly. Without the emotional investment. That's exactly it. And you're just stopping? I'm stopping pretending, I said. When I got home, the apartment looked exactly the same. No dishes done. No laundry folded. He was on the couch scrolling, waiting. Later, he dressed to go out. I'm meeting friends for dinner. Okay. You're not going to ask where?
No.
Why not? Because you're an adult. That's not what I meant. You used to ask because you cared. I cared when we were in a romantic relationship, I said. Now I'm just someone you live with. His face tightened like I'd struck him. He left. I ordered food for myself. Ate alone. When he came back near 11, he hovered in the doorway. Did you eat? Yes. You didn't wait for me. Why would I? We usually eat together. We used to. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. He turned away. I could hear it in his breathing. He was crying.
Part of me wanted to reach out.
The bigger part knew better. Comforting him would have undone everything. And for the first time, I chose myself instead. Sunday morning, he finally snapped. I was making breakfast. 1 plate, 1 fork, 1 future in mind. You're not making me anything, he demanded. I made enough for 1. This is ridiculous, he said, pacing. You're treating me like I don't exist. No, I replied calmly. I'm treating you like someone who doesn't have romantic feelings for me. There's a difference. He dropped into a chair, hands in his hair. I said I wanted to see if feelings could come back. And I said okay. I replied, flipping my eggs. But that doesn't mean I keep auditioning for a relationship that already ended. So, what are we now? He asked bitterly. Roommates. I don't know, I said. What do you want us to be? I want us to be what we were. What we were required love, I said softly. You don't have that anymore. He had no answer. I washed my plate and left him sitting there. Not angry, not triumphant, just done explaining myself. By evening, the apartment felt different. Not hostile, just empty. His panic was subtle at first. Coming home later, talking on the balcony in hushed tones, smelling like beer and something unfamiliar. I didn't ask questions. Silence can be louder than interrogation. By Monday, the quiet had weight. We moved around each other like strangers sharing a temporary space. Careful, distant, hyper-aware. Conversations turned transactional. Have you seen my charger?
No.
Did you pay the internet bill? Yes. Nothing else. Tuesday night, he finally broke. I was reading on the couch when he stood in front of me, blocking the light. His hands were clenched, knuckles white, like he was holding himself together by force. This can't keep going, he said. I marked my page. Looked up. Okay. You're being intentionally cold. I'm being consistent. No, he snapped. You're acting like you don't care at all. I studied his face, tired, scared, unraveling. I care, I said. That's why this hurts. But caring doesn't mean I keep doing emotional labor for someone who's checked out. I haven't checked out, he insisted. I'm just confused. And you're allowed to be, I replied. But confusion doesn't entitle you to my effort. He dragged a hand through his hair. I'm scared. Of what? That if I leave, I'll realize I made a mistake. I nodded. That's a real fear. And what if my feelings come back, he asked. What if they come back too late? That's a risk, I said gently. But you don't get to hold me in limbo because you're afraid. That's not what I'm doing. It is, I said. You want me here, loving you, supporting you, keeping everything stable, just in case you decide you still want me. He stared at the floor. I don't want to lose you. You lost me the moment you said you didn't love me, I replied. Everything after that has just been damage control. The words hit harder than I meant them to. He collapsed into the armchair, elbows on his knees. I don't know what I want, he whispered. That's okay, I said. Take the time you need. But while you figure it out, I'm not giving you relationship benefits. You make it sound calculated. It's self-respect. He laughed bitterly. So, what? I don't deserve kindness unless I'm in love with you? That's not what I said, I replied. You deserve kindness. But intimacy, emotional caretaking, constant reassurance, that comes with mutual investment. His eyes were red now. This feels like you're freezing me out. I'm not freezing you out, I said. I'm just not pretending anymore. That week, he stayed out more than he stayed in. Late nights, muted phone calls, distance he could no longer hide. Thursday night, he tried again. I miss you, he said, standing in the kitchen while I cooked for myself. I didn't look up. You miss what I did for you. That's not true. Then tell me, I said quietly. One thing you miss about me that isn't a service. Silence stretched. You were always there, he said finally. For you, I replied. That was all he had. And in that moment, the truth stood between us. Clear, undeniable, and irreversible. That night, I heard him crying in the bathroom. The sound slipped under the door. Quiet, broken, real. I stayed where I was. Not because I didn't care, but because comforting him now would have erased every boundary I'd finally drawn. Friday night, he didn't come home. At 7:14 p.m., my phone buzzed. Staying with a friend tonight. Need space to think. I stared at the message longer than I expected. Then typed one word. Okay. No questions. No protest. No emotional bargaining. The apartment felt different after that. Lighter. Quieter. Like the air after a storm finally passes. I cleaned. Not aggressively, not angrily. Just intentionally. Cleared counters. Shifted furniture slightly. Moved things in ways that felt more mine than ours. He stayed gone all weekend. By Sunday afternoon, I realized something unsettling and freeing. I wasn't anxious. I wasn't waiting. I wasn't rehearsing conversations in my head. When he finally came back Sunday night, it was around 9. He looked wrecked. Eyes red. Shoulders slumped. Like someone who'd aged 10 years in 48 hours. I need to tell you something, he said. I nodded. Okay. He sat across from me, hands clasped so tightly his knuckles were white. I've been talking to someone, he said. A woman from work. There it was. The missing piece sliding perfectly into place. It wasn't physical, he rushed to add. But there's been an emotional connection. I think that's why my feelings for you faded. I felt a strange calm settle in my chest. Not heartbreak. Confirmation. Okay, I said. That's all you're going to say? What else is there to say? I asked gently. You didn't wake up one day and randomly stop loving me. You redirected your feelings somewhere else. I didn't cheat. Emotionally, you did, I replied. But I'm not interested in debating definitions. He swallowed. So, what happens now? Now you decide, I said. Her or me. He flinched like I'd struck him. I don't want to lose you. You already did, I said softly. Tuesday night. Everything after that was just the echo. Tears spilled over. I'm so sorry, he whispered. I never meant for this to happen. I believe you, I said. But believing you doesn't change the outcome. Can you forgive me? Eventually, I said. But forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It just means I won't carry this anger with me. The finality settled between us. So, we're done. I think we've been done for a while, I replied. We're just being honest about it now. I'll start looking for a new place. Take your time, I said. I'm not trying to punish you. But we both know this can't continue. He went to the bedroom. I stayed on the couch. The apartment felt like a waiting room. Two people paused between chapters, neither belonging anymore. He moved out 3 weeks later. No screaming. No accusations. No last-minute pleas. We divided things quietly. Furniture. Dishes. Shared purchases. Reduced to lists and logistics. It didn't feel like a breakup. It felt like acknowledging something that had already ended. The day he left, I stood in the doorway as he loaded the last box into his car. Take care, he said. You too, I replied. And that was it. 6 weeks passed after he moved out. No dramatic glow-up montage. No sudden reinvention. Just peace. I ran into him once at a coffee shop near my apartment. We smiled politely. Asked how the other was doing. Didn't linger. He looked lighter. Happier. And, to my surprise, I was genuinely glad for him. A week later, a photo appeared on my feed. Him. And the woman from work. Official now. Smiling. Arms wrapped around each other. I waited for the ache. The jealousy. The anger. Nothing came. Friends keep asking if I'm okay. I am. I tell them. And this time, it's true. The breakup hurt, but not nearly as much as the weeks before it. The waiting. The uncertainty. The slow erosion of self-worth while I tried to be enough for someone who had already left emotionally. That pain was sharper than the ending. I learned something important during those weeks. When someone tells you they don't love you anymore, believe them. Don't argue. Don't audition. Don't perform love in hopes they'll change their mind. I could have begged. Could have tried harder. Could have bent myself smaller to keep him comfortable. Instead, I stopped. I stopped cooking. Stopped caretaking. Stopped holding the relationship together by myself. And in doing that, I revealed the truth. He didn't miss me. He missed what I did for him. The routines. The comfort. The ease of being loved without effort. Once those disappeared, there was nothing left to hide behind. The habit I changed was small, almost invisible, but it carried the weight of everything I had been giving without receiving. Now the apartment feels like mine again. I rearranged the furniture, bought new plates, changed the lighting, not because I needed to erase him, but because I needed to reclaim myself. I'm dating now. Casually, slowly, thoughtfully, paying attention to how it feels to be with someone who shows up, without being asked, without being managed, without being carried. Sometimes people ask if I miss him. I miss the idea of who I thought he was before he checked out, but the person he became, the one who wanted all the benefits without the emotional investment. I don't miss that at all. Here's the truth no one tells you. When you stop doing the things that hold a relationship together, you find out if there's anything underneath. In my case, there wasn't. Just two people going through the motions. One of them hoping the other wouldn't notice it was already over. He noticed. And everything ended. Quietly. Honestly. Inevitably. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't lose myself trying to save something that no longer existed. I chose dignity over desperation, self-respect over silence, truth over comfort. And that choice, that was justice. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever stayed too long, given too much, or loved someone who stopped choosing you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your story matters too. And sometimes, the strongest ending is knowing when to stop giving and start choosing yourself.